One ought, every day at least, to hear a little song, read a good poem, see a fine picture, and, if it were possible, to speak a few reasonable words. If you treat an individual as he will remain how he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be. A man should hear a little music, read a little poetry, and see a fine picture every day of his life, in order that worldly cares may not obliterate the sense of the beautiful which God has implanted in the human soul. Daring ideas are like chessmen moved forward. They may be beaten, but they may start a winning game. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. We do not have to visit a madhouse to find disordered minds. Our planet is the mental institution of the universe. I have possessed that heart, that noble soul in whose presence I seemed to be more than I really was because I was all that I could be. If I love you, what business is it of yours? A man sees in the world what he carries in his heart. You can easily judge the character of a man by how he treats those who can do nothing for him. The human race is a monotonous affair. Most people spend the greatest part of their time working in order to live, and what little freedom remains so fills them with fear that they seek out any and every means to be rid of it. There is nothing more frightful than ignorance in action. If you've never eaten while crying, you dawn to know what life tastes like. To think is easy. To act is hard. But the hardest thing in the world is to act in accordance with your thinking. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. Whatever you think you can do or believe you can do, begin it. Action has magic, power, and grace. Science arose from poetry. When times change, the two can meet again on a higher level as friends. An unused life is an early death. Precaution is better than cure. On all the peaks lies peace. It is ever true that he who does nothing for others does nothing for himself. Who is the happiest man? He who is alive to the merit of others and can rejoice in their enjoyment as if it were his own. I prefer the harmful truth to the useful error. Nothing is more terrible than ignorance in action. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you help them to become what they are capable of being. He who possesses art and science has religion. He who does not possess them needs religion. The way you see people is the way you treat them, and the way you treat them is what they become. The soul that sees beauty may sometimes walk alone. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. The best slave does not need to be beaten. She beats herself. The world is so empty if one thinks only of mountains, rivers, and cities. But to know someone who thinks and feels with us and who, though distant, is close to us in spirit, this makes the earth for us an inhabited garden. Love does not dominate. It cultivates. There is nothing insignificant in the world. It all depends on the point of view. Character is formed in the stormy billows of the world. A person hears only what they understand. Correction does much, but encouragement does more. The greatest genius will never be worth much if he pretends to draw exclusively from his own resources. The human mind will not be confined to any limits. Everything is hard before it is easy. In the end, we retain from our studies only that which we practically apply. The longer you live alone, the less the crowd appeals, the less you need others to fill the silence, the more you find peace in solitude whispers. One can be instructed in society. One is inspired only in solitude. The destiny of any nation at any given time depends on the opinions of its young men under 25. The most original authors are not so because they advance what is new, but because they put what they have to say as if it had never been said before. If you like the video, then please like and subscribe and press the bell icon for latest updates. Thanks for watching.